Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who are really tired about giving Disney their money, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Maddie.
I'm Ezra.
And I'm Helena.
So this is going to be a fair warning. If you have not seen Avengers Endgame yet and you do not want to be spoiled, this is not the episode for you. Just pause now, come back to it later. This will be full spoilers. So if you don't care about spoilers or you've already seen it, lead on, Macduff.
Lay on, Macduff. Sorry, I'm a terrible person.
So yeah, this is going to be kind of the Sneople cover what I said as a joke was the good, the bad, and the dirty about Avengers Endgame. And I'll be things we liked, things we didn't like, and then things we kind of feel complicated about. So,
And things I feel complicated about, that's just the whole dang movie, really.
Honestly, that is...
we did like it. Let it be said that, like, if
yes,
you...
Yes, by and large, I did like it. I know that...
Yeah. If you liked it, I don't want you to come in being like, oh, the Sneople are about to fucking rag on this movie I really liked. We are going to talk about shit we didn't like, so if that's not your style, that's okay too. But we did, at the end of the day, like it. I love the MCU because I'm a dumb bitch, but...
It's okay, we love you anyway.
I know.
Out of the three of us, I think probably I have, at this point, the least emotional attachment to the MCU.
God, I wish that were me.
And, yeah, let me tell you, from where I'm sitting, it's pretty good.
Fuck you.
I enjoyed Endgame just, like, generally way more than I thought I was going to. And this is from somebody who was... I mean, like, I was sure I was pretty, like, permanently soured on the whole Enterprise. I did not enjoy Infinity War. I walked out of it and went, Jesus, where is this franchise going? And also, I never need to see that again. In the lead up to Endgame, I kept being like, wow, what the fuck even happened in the last several Avengers movies? Like, who died? I don't even remember, that kind of a thing. And then this movie, like, delivered in a way that I was totally not expecting it to.
Yeah. I'm like right smack dab in the middle between you two. I think that something that I've been saying to, like, pretty much everybody when I talked about Endgame is that my emotional investment in the characters and the story is so uneven. There are some characters who I'm like, yeah, I'm like really into like what's going to happen to them and what's like what their arc is. There are some characters who I do just like not give a shit about, not because I necessarily dislike them, but mostly because I haven't felt invested in what's been happening to them in the movies. And then there are some characters who I thought I was like over, and then apparently I'm not over, so that's great too.
Yeah, that was rough. Me, oh god, what do you mean I'm having a feeling about this? Fuck you.
Get out of my head. Yeah. So it was just kind of like a seesaw of stuff. I mean, I still haven't seen Age of Ultron. I haven't seen a lot of recent Marvel movies. So I have to tell a quick segue. I saw Civil War without seeing Age of Ultron, and I met Maddie for coffee one day when I was like, well, I saw Civil War last night, and they're like, have you seen the other ones? And I was like, nope, I haven't.
God, I just remember being there, like, head in my hands, like, how? Did you understand the movie, anything? Like, at all?
I mean...
I realized that I was talking it through with somebody, and I was like, what happened in Age of Ultron? And she was like,
too much.
She was like, I mean, like, do you want a blow by blow? And I was like, I remember like 2 things about that entire movie, and one of them wasn't even important.
So you see,
wait, what's the not important thing? Hold on. I want to know. Let's dig deeper.
Oh man, Maddie, you may have to cut this.
Okay.
It was... Yeah, no, Maddie, you know what it was.
I don't know what it is. What was it?
Helena, I'm going to type this into the Discord because guess what? People's parents listen to this podcast, and this one I am going to censor.
Okay. Type away.
Normally I have to do the censoring for us.
While you type, I just want to mention that I understood Civil. That's right. Yeah, okay, fair. Ezra has told me, and now the secret shall go with me to my grave.
We will keep this locked all the way the fuck down.
Thank you.
So I understood Civil War fine, mostly because I'm the person who saw Serenity before seeing Firefly, so I have a pretty good threshold for like jumping into things.
Helena, I'm so sorry.
Established universe. No, it was great. You know, like when I first saw Serenity, I was like totally unaware that anything like Firefly even existed, and I was like, oh cool, there's this whole established universe that they have for this movie that's a standalone movie. That's great. So yeah, I have a pretty high threshold for that thing.
My high school friends showed up at my house with Firefly on DVD to ensure that I did not do that.
Oh, well, that's silly.
They were like so concerned. It was great, but also like, oh geez.
As many things, I had Helena guide me through my Firefly experience. And this is a funny story. I swear to God we'll get back to Avengers in a second.
Probably.
This is the problem with having a podcast with like three best friends is that we just like talking to each other. So we're like, hey, do you remember this thing? And then 45 minutes later, we're like, fuck the podcast. But so we watched Firefly in high school, and then we went to Black Butte. And this is funny because I just came back from Black Butte and I haven't been, I think maybe since that trip or the trip after that. And we watched Serenity, and I had just no warning. And I just remember getting to the end of it being like, fuck you.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
Endgame.
I just oh fuck the podcast.
Fuck the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, actually, that does tie back though, Helena, because a chunk of the reason your emotional investment is so uneven is Joss Whedon's fault.
Oh, it's true. That's all.
It's
a perfect
galaxy
circle.
Brain.
Yeah, I was gonna do my road to Endgame. I told everybody in the Discord chat like a few days before I saw it. My road to Endgame is I'm gonna watch Spider-Man: Homecoming and then see Captain Marvel and then just watch Endgame and read the Wikipedia summaries for all of them. And so what ended up happening instead, because my life is insane, is I didn't see Captain Marvel. I just saw Spider-Man: Homecoming, and randomly last minute on Tuesday night, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I read the Wikipedia summaries for every other thing.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like part of the reason it got goofed is that I was like, I'll watch Spider-Man with you, and you were like, when are you free? And I was like, Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, I was going to see Captain Marvel, and I was like, I mean, that's cool. And you were like, no, we're watching Spider-Man. And we did. And it was good.
And it was good. Yes. It was good.
And we threw things at each other multiple times.
Because that's how I just get when I'm sad about Peter Parker. I'm sorry. I love him.
I just specifically remember you being like, Lando didn't fuck it up in the Solo movie, and I threw my phone directly into your bare arm, and it, like, glass burst.
It did hurt a little bit, but in fairness, I deserved it. And also Donald Glover was there, and I was like, hey, remember? And we both remembered at the same time that he was in Solo. Anyway.
So I just want to say real quick, my MCU is like, it is a great hate born from a great love, kind of. I've seen all of them now. There were a few I hadn't seen. I'd seen like half of Iron Man 2 with Helena like years and years ago. I hadn't seen Dark World, and I hadn't seen Ant-Man 1. So we were going to see it on Sunday, and like the 2 days before, I just kind of like marathoned those three. So I'd seen all of them, and then I saw Endgame. And, like, weirdly enough, watching Iron Man 2 again, I was like, oh, I, like, do care about these. Like, they're fun and I care about the characters. It's just, like, I have been burned so badly so many times that every time there's an MCU, I'm, like, fucking the meme where it's, like, hiding behind the glass door and it's, like, you've piqued my like, emotional curiosity and I'm going to open the door a crack. And then they, like, throw the door open and punch me in the face, and it's happened a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I was really I'm glad that Joss Whedon is no longer doing the Avengers movies. I feel like
Same.
yeah, I feel like I really enjoyed the first Avengers movie when it came out, and then upon retrospect, I mean, I don't hate it now. It's just like looking at all of the characterization choices he made with Cap and with Black Widow. It's like, man, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
There's a lot of yikes in them.
I own that one on like Blu-ray, I think, because I saw it like 3 or 4 times in theaters because I liked it so much, and now I'm just like,
Yeah, me too.
boy, wish I could get rid of it. I guess I could, but who would take it from me is the other part.
Oh, CD Game Exchange will take it for you.
Great. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna buy a copy of Cap 2.
Good plan. Better plan. Definitely better plan.
That's why it's called CD Game Exchange.
I would say also, just sorry, I know you wanted to talk Ezra. I want to say this really quick before we change the subject. I think I'm also possibly, and correct me, like, I think I'm the only like comic book fan on the podcast also. Like, you guys have read comics, but I'm like the comic book person.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that
fair?
for that is more
totally
than fair. Like, for me, I have consumed drastically more Marvel Comics Universe fan fiction than I have ever read Marvel Comics.
And the ones you have read, I think I probably lent them to you.
Yes,
Not all of them.
but mostly my comics exposure has been Maddie going, "Hey bitch, you'll love this," and me going, "Damn, you right."
Same.
They know both of us insanely well and are also just very good at book recommendations.
Look, my gateway into comics is the Matt Fraction and David Aja Hawkeye comics, which
I am
into.
just like the biggest stan. Yeah.
That was mine too.
So Maddie, you are responsible for that.
Because every time someone's like, maybe I want a Marvel comic, I'm like, hey, have you read Hawkeye yet?
Maddie riding your ceiling fan like a gargoyle going, "Hey, you read Hawkeye yet?"
Hey kid, you want to buy some Hawkeye?
Which is literally what they did earlier this evening, because both Ezra and I were like, oh, should we read more of the Hawkeye comics? And Maddie was like, I own them all. Do you want them? But in a good way, because we actually want to read them. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're coming from. This is like an unofficial segment on the show now, is like, where are we coming from? Which I kind of like. I don't hate it.
No, I think it's a fun thing to do. Background is fun. Man, Hawkeye in the MCU, it's funny how he's a character like 20% of the time. Also, I will say,
world's biggest sigh.
Look, the promo photos of Hawkeye really just had me like losing my goddamn mind with how awful he looked, and it was like slightly less bad when he was like moving around.
He looks like an aging butch lesbian.
He looks like your mom's like shitty new boyfriend who you wish was an aging butch lesbian instead.
Yeah, he would be hotter if he was a butch lesbian, but instead you're like, man, you're like too old for this. No, you're not, because like anybody could rock whatever they want, but also like
mostly he's just kind of gross.
But also,
my dude's in the fucking club trying to pick up 20-somethings.
Yeah,
it's just a weird. It's just weird casting for me in what I think of, in my understanding of like Hawkeye's character.
Yeah,
but that's just me and lots and lots of other people.
Yeah, that's true. There's a very strong undercurrent of dumb kid made good to Clint Barton. And I say that with like a deep amount of love. Like he really needs to have this edge of like where he's like young enough that he's like, oh, I probably should have figured this shit out by now, but
he's in his like mid-30s.
Yeah,
he's not like a kid. He's like an adult, but he's not like really figured it out yet.
Yeah.
So, you know, he knows how to pay his bills. Does he always pay his bills? Maybe not.
Yeah. No, he's got other things on his mind. Look, he's an Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just him
And
also
he's
being
impulsive
canonically
and haphazard.
and he's canonically deaf, and the comics were doing some really interesting stuff with that, and the movies were like, no, we're not really interested in that. It's like,
They're
okay.
like,
To be
what
fair,
if we just
they introduced Hawkeye,
ignore
I
that?
believe, before the Matt Fraction run, where he brought back that Hawkeye was deaf.
Yes, that is
Because
true.
it is something that he had been hard of hearing, and then they like retconned it because comics, and then the two of them, the Fraction run, brought it back, and I think
good.
Avengers had already come out. This isn't to say they couldn't have brought it in,
Yeah.
but at least the earlier MCU movies that wasn't a thing yet.
That
Again.
is true. Yeah.
They did bring in Ronin in Endgame, and that's an old
did.
Hawkeye reference. So, like,
If they can do that.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh damn, is that what was going on with that? Cuz like that went right over my head.
Yeah, that was one of those things where, like, if you're not... You can't see me right now, but my glasses are off, and I'm just, like, my hand is over my eyes.
It's okay. I don't need to be looking at you to know what you're doing with your
Yeah, no, that was a comics reference.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why he also had that fucking half sleeve of a fucking...
Wacky.
Whatever.
Yeah.
On his, yeah.
Fucking I just remembered that at some points in the comics when Steve was like, oh, like I made a morally ambiguous decision and now maybe like I'm not worthy to be Captain America, I'm gonna give the shield to somebody else, and then he's like he's a nomad, and I was like, bring that back.
Yeah, that was sexy.
That was bitchin'.
You know, they actually... Steve at one point was like, hey, do you want to be Cap? And Clint was like, I'm a bad person. And Cap was like, well, you're not, but also, like, I think you can... First of all, you're not. Second of all, throw the shield. And Clint doesn't, like... Because that's his whole thing, is he's a sharpshooter. So he throws it with, like, a fantastic aim. And Steve's like, uh-huh. And Clint's like, no, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
I think he does actually dress up as Cap later in a Young Avengers run.
Nice.
Like, Cap is, like, dead, and he takes up the shield briefly.
That's cool.
But so has everyone else, so...
That's kind of like how I felt about Cap wielding,
Mjolnir.
yeah, in this movie. I enjoyed that. Even
Steve,
though...
That was
has
really
been able to pick up the hammer from
satisfying.
the start. And it took them too long for that to bring it in.
But also it was very satisfying.
that was very well executed. Just generally, I will say, I feel like the fight choreography just straight up got better from Infinite,
Delightful.
like in Endgame. Like it was just. It was filmed better because I think the choreography was pretty good in Infinity War, but it just wasn't filmed very skillfully. I don't know who their team for that was, or if it changed between movies or what, but
I just didn't feel invested in any of the fights in Infinity War because and I don't know why that is, because maybe they're like counting on the fact that like, well, you've had 20, well, I don't know what it was at that moment, 19, 20 other movies to get invested at this point, so now if you're not invested, it's your fault. But also, fuck you, like, the reason that Endgame was effective by that point was because they had spent like the past 2.5 hours or whatever giving all of these characters who survived these real motivations, and it just kind of felt like in Infinity War they were going through the motions a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean that's part of my problem, my beef with Infinity War, but I think that's also definitely part of it.
I think Infinity War had to do a lot of lore dumping. I mean, a lot of lore dumping. And the MCU is just... Their sort of ability to do that gracefully has been pretty hit or miss across all of the movies. And so much of Infinity War was, like, technical that it didn't really leave a whole lot of room for characters and relationships and stuff to breathe.
Yeah, I think Infinity War was always going to be difficult because much like Avengers 1 was always going to be kind of difficult, they had to bring in so many moving pieces.
Yeah.
and this is not to say that I don't understand that was difficult. They still fucked up, but like,
what? Yeah, I mean,
that was
it's
always
not
going to be a hard one to pull off.
Like big ensemble movies can work. They're just very hard.
Yeah,
and like Infinity War just didn't work, but Endgame did better. And part of it, honestly, there were fewer people in it. Because
everybody was fucking dead, so
dude, oh man, I like opened this awful can of worms in my head where my brain was, I was like, wait, was it 50% like by species? Because what if you fucked up and you were like, oh, I'm gonna delete half of the biomass on Earth, and you just got all bugs. It was nothing but bugs. And then you were like, fuck, I fucked up.
I can't push up my glasses; they're too far up my nose. But
I can see you pushing your glasses up. It's fine.
But the thing is that it is like it is half of the biomass. But I think the idea is it's half of the like. It's a little bit of an opposite Noah's Ark situation. It seems like
it is half of every like individual thing. It's not just. Like, it's half of all humans, but also half of all, etc., like, each individual thing.
Right, because Scott sees the birds again, and that's how he knows that it worked, because there's, like, birds again. Yeah. Which, like, the implication of that kind of makes me want to throw up, to think about 5 years in a world where half of nature is just dead. But also, I feel like the idea is like it's half of all species, and that adds up to half of the population of each planet also.
Well, yes, it does. No, Maddie, your explanation makes perfect sense. I swear to God, all I could think about was like gets distracted mid-snap, accidentally deletes half, but it's only the bug half.
oh shit. We just got all the fucking bees.
Because I was literally just thinking about, like, and then I just went down this horrible rabbit hole of, like, how bizarre and, like, intricately delicate the Earth's ecosystem is, and then I got really mad about climate change.
No, it is true. Like, if he was like, oh shit, I just got all the bees, like, we'd still be fucked.
Yeah.
Also, Cap has that comment about how, like, the whales are coming back in, like, the harbor, New York Harbor.
Yeah.
Or, like, New York Harbor, whatever harbor. Yeah, because there's less pollution and less people in boats and stuff. So another,
yeah.
So it's like a hit or miss kind of thing. Speaking of Scott Lang,
because we're talking about
Can we
bugs.
Talk about Scott Lang. Because you mentioned him seeing birdies.
I really thought the segue there was bugs, and he's Ant-Man.
Well, that too.
And both are true.
And he's so good at it. He's my boy.
Let me say that moment, like, his acting and also, that particular moment, the filming, the acting, all of that was so, like, the realization that hits you is, like, that hits him at the same time. We are like, it's birds. Like, there's birds. Oh, my God. He did a fantastic job. Like, in that moment.
Yeah.
And in the movie.
Yeah. That in particular was a very well done. And it was that was a moment that it was exactly as long as it needed to be. And I feel like in most of the Avengers movies, and when I say Avengers movies, just for reference, I swear to fuck, I'm including Captain America Civil War in this because it had all of the same problems that the team-up movies have. Whatever, anyway.
Because it's not a real Captain America movie.
Yeah,
we started making this joke, and then it stopped being a joke.
Yeah,
so.
We're like, oh yes, Avengers Civil War, and then I forgot that it was technically a Captain America movie because we said it so much.
So
anyway,
sad that we never got a Cap 3.
I know, right? But
so
that moment in most of the Marvel movies would never have made adequate time for that moment. They would have just had somebody make a comment.
Yeah.
And instead, they took a really not very much time, the length of 2 or 3 breaths. That's it. But it was way more effective than most of the stuff that has happened in like the past 2 or 3 team-up movies, because it was somebody actually got to process something in real time.
And I didn't have to have someone
Ezra?
tell me.
Yeah.
That is great, because I think that is exactly what was good about this whole movie, is that they were actually giving time when they did give time, and when it was good, they're giving time for characters to process things.
Yeah.
That is the only justification, I have that written down here, for this movie being 3 hours. If it's 3 hours of battles and shit, I don't care. If it's 3 hours of character stuff where they're recovering and trying to move on from trauma, and then also maybe there's a time heist in there, that is the good shit. That's when it's worth it. Maybe worth it to have a 3 hour movie.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that going on. And like speaking of like Scott's character, like that moment too when he thought that maybe his daughter had been killed in the snap, and then he went back home and saw her again. We were all saying like that's the first time in the movie that I got genuinely choked up. And yeah. I literally had seen Ant-Man and the Wasp the day before that, and nice. I was not even emotionally invested in it, and then this happens. So there's just a ton of really great stuff. Even at the beginning with Tony and Nebula's stuff aboard the spaceship was really just the perfect amount of time that they needed for that, and him coming back and his whole fucking trauma with losing Peter and failing so badly, like that was all, yeah.
I remember that, like, that opened up, and this is interesting because so I wasn't sure like how soon I was gonna see Endgame, and so I just said fuck it and asked my girl to just tell me if, because I knew they were gonna get rid of Steve somehow, but I basically just wanted to know whether they were killing off Tony as well. And it was mostly selfish because I was like, I gotta know, how soon am I fucking getting Sherlock Holmes 3? Are we freeing Robert Downey Jr.? I got priorities here.
They literally filmed his death scene, and Robert Downey Jr. immediately like burned rubber driving to Jude Law's house,
and then showed up in his apartment with that Tom and Jerry meme with the screenplay dropped in his hand.
No, it's the one with the lady who like the fashion runway model where she like throws the door open and then she like trots in.
Yeah, that's that's it.
Yes,
that's
right.
Definitely it.
It is.
Oh, bless.
That's it.
So I knew I knew that Tony was gonna die, like starting out watching this movie, which was kind of an interesting. And then they were like, "Oh, he is a kid," and I swear to God, mentally, I almost yelled "fuck you" out loud in the theater because I was like, "Don't fucking do this to me, you jackasses! Don't."
Yeah,
this is first class emotional manipulation, you fuckers. Anyway, but that movie opened, and I also will say I was, before seeing Endgame, I was so comprehensively done with Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I was like, I hate that he's the focus of every single team up. I hate that they keep shoehorning him in where he doesn't need to be. I hate that I hate that he's always right. I hate the people who are like, sorry everybody if you're like a huge Tony stan, I totally respect you. This is fictional characters and like I have zero beef, but I probably blocked you on Twitter because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I was really, really, really fucking done. And I love Robert Downey Jr. Like, I think he's a phenomenal actor. I love him in a ton of different stuff. Like, he's been in some of my favorite movies. But I was like, man, I want them to kill Tony off so he can go back to being in things that I actually enjoy watching. And then this movie opened, and him and Nebula on the spaceship, and I was like, oh my God, they actually let him, like, do what he's good at. It was fabulous. I was like, holy shit, they finally, you know, like, it's like I could feel that whoever was behind the camera had finally been allowed to like unclench like 3 inches and give everybody a chance to like actually act. And it was great. Instead of having every single moment be so choreographed down to the slightest eye twitch for like maximum efficiency.
And dialogue, choreographed dialogue too.
Yeah, everything. I feel like the last few movies have just been like, we have to use every single second to get the maximum amount of plot dumping. I'm like twitching my eye, and I keep forgetting that you can't see what I'm doing because we're on a podcast. And this movie felt like, because it was kind of a swan song for a number of characters, it was like everybody got a little bit more freedom to do their characters justice one last time. And it meant that I was like, holy fuck, I don't hate Tony Stark anymore, because I really had started to fucking hate Tony Stark in the MCU. Which sucks. Because I love the first Iron Man movie. I saw it in a movie theater and it was great. I love Robert Downey Jr. I like Tony Stark in the comics. He really interests me. And also, I think I kind of didn't realize how much the fandom had ruined Tony for me. And then I stopped. I basically was just like, I'm done with Tumblr. And then when I moved over to Twitter, and I curated my Twitter so that I just didn't hear people talking about it anymore. And I was like, oh man, when it's just me and my relationship with Tony Stark,
Fettered.
Yeah, unfettered by the fandom. The MCU is one of those things where it's like, almost every fandom that I've ever been part of has enhanced my enjoyment of the source media. The Avengers fandom actually makes me like it less sometimes.
It's just a lot to take. There's a lot of there's a lot of opinions all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
And a lot of very strong opinions and a lot of enthusiasm, which is cool, but can be very overwhelming, especially when you don't necessarily agree and people are all up in your business about it. It's why I got tired of Loki also. And rewatching Dark World 2 or Dark World 2 Electric Boogaloo. Watching Thor 2, and he's the best fucking part in Thor 2. I was like, oh, I did like you. You were an interesting character.
Yeah, my whole thing with not liking Loki was based entirely on the fact that people that I follow or who followed me were like, oh, I'm so sick of Loki. He's so annoying, and I'm so sick of Loki fans. And I was like, me too. And then whenever I rewatch a Thor movie or any movie that he's in, I'm like, oh God, I miss him.
I know.
I'm a huge bitch.
Where's Loki?
I am the biggest bitch ever. And I was just I walked out of Endgame and I was like, I can't believe this movie just made me miss Loki, because I'm sorry, I'm that bitch. Helena, it's me.
No, he does.
He has one line.
There's a point where he pretends to be Steve, and it's really funny.
I don't even care. I love him, and I am trash.
It's okay. We're gay.
It's okay.
And we're excused.
It's okay. I'm your garbage.
We're gay, so we're allowed to like Loki.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel Ezra, I feel kind of the same way that you do about Tony, where it's on one hand, and I was dealing with these emotions when I watched Spider-Man Homecoming for the first time, last week. I on one hand, I'm so annoyed with him. I see objectively the problem of him just being in everybody's business, so to speak, and being in everybody else's narrative and having the focus constantly be about him, and all of the shit about in Iron Man 2 about I just privatized world peace and the fuckity nonsense of that stuff, where it's maybe don't lean back into that. And but then when I watch Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm like, oh, this is a Spider-Man movie. Why is Tony Stark here? And then they're like, father-son relationships. And then I go, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. And then I just...
Hey, kid, you want to buy some father-son relationships?
Me pulling 20s out of my wallet frantically.
Oh, me literally just throwing my wallet at you.
I mean, it's true. And I mean, Tom Holland is also an impressively good actor, and really sells that relationship. So
they have a lot of chemistry.
He sold it really well with the 5 minutes he was on screen. Yeah. Him saying goodbye to Tony. You know who the two people who got to say goodbye to Tony? It was Pepper and fucking Peter Parker.
So for the listeners, the first thing I said to anybody after getting out of Endgame at 11 o'clock at night was I pulled up my Twitter DMs and frantically direct messaged Maddie being like, I'm gonna kill Tom Holland with my 2 bare hands.
And then I think immediately I was like, when he just whispered Tony, and then I think I was at the direct end of your threats.
Yes.
But it's just like, it's so... Oh, man. Moment of silence for us just thinking about Tom Holland, like, just fucking selling that, like, the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's it's like also you're like, holy shit, a moment of real emotional connection, like,
yeah. And I want to call attention to that for anybody who was able to do that in these movies, or who was ever able to do it, because they are looking at nothing. The amount of information they gave Tom Holland before this battle is like, I don't know who you're fighting, but can't tell you because it's a spoiler. Like, the way that
they wouldn't fucking tell him anything because he keeps saying things, but also, like, spoiler culture is nuts.
Yeah, boy.
You need to tell your actors get your actors information, and the fact that all of these actors are doing all of these big emotional scenes usually to a green screen or something that is not there yet, and getting that reaction out of it is really impressive, and I just want to congratulate them.
Honestly, Tom Holland is a fucking MVP. He is one of, I think, the strongest talents in the MCU.
Right.
That was like, I didn't think that I had that opinion until right this moment, but I will stand by it.
Yeah. I support him.
Man.
And I'm really excited for Spider-Man Far From Home. Anyway.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Oh my god. Oh my god. At the end when he went back to school and he reunited with his boyfriend...
Oh,
I cried, you guys.
Yeah.
I didn't
so
cry very much
sweet.
in this movie, which is like unusual because I'm Ezra and I cry about literally everything. It's not even funny.
Babe, it's okay. I cried enough for all 3 of us.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
I just like, oh man, I'm so invested in Peter and Ned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we are also, all 3 of us are like Peter Parker stands till we die.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was my gateway
Yeah.
into superhero stories and comic books.
Yeah, I told
the
Helena
Sam
this
Raimi film,
story,
so-
but before we went to go see the first Spider-Man movie that they made with Tobey Maguire, I like got a gift from my dad, which like, yeah, of course, of like this really big like Spider-Man encyclopedia, and like that was one of the coolest things I ever got, and like I wish I knew where that was. I love Peter Parker so fucking much. I love the spiders, men and women.
I do.
Spider-Man
All
was
of them.
my dad never really got into superheroes when he was a kid, except for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that's not an
weird.
unusual.
Yeah.
Like everybody fucking, because he's just like a dude.
Yeah.
He's just, Spider-Man. He's just
he
a
is
dude.
a dude. He is just a dude in
Yeah.
a suit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh boy. I would like to talk about some stuff that maybe we didn't like as much.
Yeah.
Um,
So would I.
So one more thing that I did like. I laughed like a hyena when after we meet Thor after like the time skip, and I was really mad. Fortunately, I was warned about that because I would have been like even more upset if
Yeah,
somebody hadn't
Leia leaned
told
over
of
to
it.
me and was like, by the way, there's gonna be just like a shitty fat joke here. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
She like told me beforehand when she was like, okay, here's who dies, and also there's some horrible fat jokes with Thor, like you're gonna find it upsetting. And I was like, thank you for the warning. But one, I was like, Korg is back, yay, I love Korg. And then I
Yay,
realized
me
that
too.
he was wearing the pineapple print onesie that all of from those
so
fucking
good.
photos of Taika Waititi, and I just like genuinely like bark laughed in the theater, and no one else did, and I was like, I'm over here, it's cool, I'm just having a moment, we're fine, nobody look at me. It's like 2 p.m. on a Monday.
Besides the shitty fat jokes in that scene, everything else was really good. Like Thor telling off the dude who was harassing Korg on Fortnite. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, a lot of that was like, well, I've been depressed. Definitely been there. It was just like the fucking... He looked like... I think at one point I was like, he looks like the Big Lebowski seconds before Tony called him like Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Me too.
damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yep. I definitely went...
Red.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, well... I preferred to think of it as, like, having picked up what they were laying down rather than it being a drag on me. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
But, oh boy, yeah. Time Heist was great. Guys, Time Heist, that was so delightful. I just have to say that.
That was beautiful.
Time heist.
I love heist movies. I love heist movies. They're like one of my favorite genres of film. And this movie was like, hey, have a heist. And I was like, I am easy for that.
Me too.
And
Yeah,
it
that
was
was like
paced.
the father-son relationships thing too.
It was paced so well. It was like, holy shit. Oh my god, they actually can do 1, pacing, and 2, comic timing. Holy fuck! Who knew? That's it. That's the end of the rant.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to stuff that got our hackles up.
Hey, do you want to talk about Steve Rogers?
I would love to talk about Steve Rogers. Thank you for asking. Steve Rogers, if you're out there, first of all, I'm free on Thursday. Let me know.
Call
Secondly,
me on
I'm
Thursday
sorry
when I'm
that
free.
on Thursday when I'm free this Thursday. Also, I think I'm talking a little bit too loud. I'm just really, really passionate about this. I am sorry.
Yeah, no, I think I am as well.
It's fine. I'll turn it down later. But my thing with his ending is I can understand on a kind of a basic level, it's like he gets to be happy, but I feel like, but he doesn't grow. He doesn't mature. No. He doesn't, what does he gain in terms of as a character from going back in time and being with Peggy for the rest of his life, knowing, first of all, that Bucky is off being tortured in Russia, knowing that Tony's parents are going to die, knowing that, like, everything his wife is working for is going to become a Nazi, or, like, everything he knows and can't act on, how is that happiness, and how does he grow? What, that they took away any character arc he ever had. They basically said he doesn't get a chance to grow and become more than just a man with a shield. And that is very sad to me, that they took that away from him. And I know he's not a real Perkins or whatever, but if we're talking about writing a character, like, in a story, they made him one note, and that sucks. That's a shitty way to handle one of your, like, your principal characters.
Yeah. No,
but he got to be happy and be, like, straight or whatever. Fuck you. He lives on a farm with a therapy dog now.
I have to say, this is very quick. The gravity of that moment was completely ruined for me because old Steve looked so much like Joe Biden that for a second I thought, I was like, does Joe Biden have a cameo in this movie and nobody exactly like Joe Biden? I swear to God.
That's awful. I hate this.
I'm so sorry to ruin. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely sorry that I had to ruin that moment for you, but that was all I could think about.
Oh, Jesus
I couldn't
Christ.
look at it. I couldn't even look at it because aging makeup just fucking embarrasses me.
It was uncanny valley. Like, it was like, I know, I can see Chris Evans under there, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
It was
like it was not bad age. Like, the makeup itself
it wasn't.
was good.
I think it was
makeup.
actually computer generated.
Or okay, then that's okay.
I say that just based on the look. Like, that looked computer generated to me.
So
but...
that was definitely CG.
That.
I'm sorry to all of our beloved listeners if I just ruined that scene for you, but if you think about it, he goddamn looks like Joe Biden.
Yeah. I am glad that Sam is Cap now. Like, that was kind of my, like, that was my, like, ideal, is that Sam became Cap. So I'm, like, really, really, really happy about that and really excited for, like, the Sam and Bucky show.
Yes.
But I think that it could have been done differently.
And I just want to say that I don't not like Steve and Peggy together. Like, that's not the issue.
Oh, yeah. That's not the problem.
it's not like I'm mad about my ship being broken, because I ship Steve with both Peggy and Bucky. They're both really good together and they love each other. But it's mostly just it also, in a way, for me, I don't know if it messes with her character to me too, because we were talking earlier about like she moved on and they both moved on, and that was supposed to be a good thing. And all of a sudden at the beginning of this movie, he's pulling out his locket again with a picture of her, and it's like,
that was actually like jarring for me. That like threw me.
He hasn't done that for like several movies. Also, she died
8 years ago.
8 years ago, and she didn't die from the snap. She died of old age. Why isn't he going through this trauma? Because he's lost 2 of his friends.
Also, you mean his boyfriends? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes,
True.
and like especially like what happened to Bucky? Where did he go? Like, why all of a sudden, like, it was like all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, like, please look at each other, like, please interact like you don't actually really mean anything to one another. And it was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, not even from a shipping point of view, because like, am I a Steve Bucky shipper? Yeah, of course I am. Steve Rogers type is feisty brunettes who roll their eyes at him a lot. Come on.
That literally describes Peggy, Bucky, and Sam.
Yes. Yeah, I'm right, and I know it. But it just out of, it's like they, and it's frustrating to me, I think, because like just unavoidably Sebastian Stan and Chris Evans have a rapport that comes across on screen really well. And it's like these movies kind of just went out of, like, it's felt like Infinity War and Endgame went out of their way to put a damper on that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like
the repeat of the line, don't do anything stupid until I get back, etc. I felt like that even to me was just like, okay, like
it felt like this movie had a lot of like callbacks to Avenger or to Cap 1 for Steve.
Yeah.
Like that being like, remember this movie? And I'm like, yeah, that was real life like 8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And even Steve, his relationship, like he never got to build a relationship with who Bucky Barnes is now. And having that be the callback.
And vice versa.
Yeah, and vice versa. Having that be the callback just said to me, like, neither of us is interested in seeing the other one as anything other than the person that you used to be. Which is, like, just kind of sad, because so much of the Captain America movies, especially Cap 2, were about Steve adapting and learning to, like, okay, I'm stuck in this situation, I guess I better do something about it. And then what his happy ending is, I get to go back and be heterosexual and never eat Thai food again. Like, and, deal with people fucking still getting polio? Like,
I get to watch the AIDS crisis happen again.
Yeah, I get to,
Hooray.
I get to go back to the, oh God, what is that fucking line from The West Wing? Leave It to Beaver trip back to the 50s was what ran through my head at that moment, where I was just like, this is so, like,
Steve Rogers wouldn't want that.
No, Steve Rogers, and Steve Rogers, as they have written him for the last however many films, would not have wanted that.
He literally, Helena sent a post to the Discord that is a quote from Steve, where Sam's like, oh, do you miss the past? And Steve's like, not really.
Yeah,
like, I'm learning about all the cool things the now has to offer, and that's what's important to me.
Yeah, he's like, I miss my people, but also, like, I have the internet and Thai food. I can
there's a vaccine for polio now.
I can ask the internet to bring me food from all over the place. Like, I can get fresh fucking orange. It's like, he's like, I'm making the best of it, and I'm not, and it's just as sad to me. Like, it seems like a cop out.
Well,
basically.
and that's what
it felt like
that's
a
what the
cop-out.
third Cap movie should have been about. Is that post Winter Soldier? Let's see, like that relationship that he has with Bucky.
Yeah, who are
like,
we now?
Adjusting to that, who are we now to each other, and who are we as like. Exactly. That's exactly it. It's like, who are we to each other, and who was Bucky post brainwashing? Because, as somebody once said on the Blue Hell site, it only took Steve saying Bucky's name once to undo like how many years of brainwashing? So like
Jesus,
a lot of
fucking
years
Christ.
of brainwashing. So
Oh my
that
God.
stuff is like really compelling and really interesting, and it was, I think, Winter Soldier really set us up for something like that, or maybe not quite what we were like wanting, like a domestic fic where they're just.
But at least it could have featured Bucky being like, "Who am I?" Steve being like, "You're the only person who knows. You are literally the only person who knows me as someone who is not Captain America. How does that define me in the modern era?" And both of them trying to figure out what to do in a world that is now so different, both from what they know and from even like 6 months ago with the reveal of like S.H.I.E.L.D. is Hydra. Like,
Oh, okay. I did like that, by the way.
the moment where he's like, "Hail Hydra," that
Hail
allows it
Hydra,
to,
and he's
you're
like,
bitch.
Fuck you. That was very good. I also
good.
kind of I liked how him fighting himself in that time was like literally the characterization of him in Winter Soldier versus the characterization of him in Joss Whedon's The Avengers fight.
Yep.
Basically, like
Yeah.
I mean, I know it was more like, oh, look how much I've grown and how much my combat style has changed, but also it was like, oh god,
It's like me when I look at a selfie of myself from like 5 years ago. I'm like, oh god,
God, who is that?
that haircut, yikes.
I think the last thing I want to say about Steve in this is, I mean, look, them having to write Steve Rogers out was inevitable. Chris Evans doesn't want to do it anymore. Cool, great,
That's fine.
Godspeed.
I think that
Get out of there.
it would have been, because I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, I've been trying to challenge myself to do this when I don't like a storytelling decision. I think, okay, I don't like that storytelling decision. How would I make it better? Like you know, where I challenge myself to go like, okay, well, do you have a better idea? And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. And I think that I would have preferred personally, and I'm not sure if it would just that it would be more personally resonant for me, or like more in the style of the kind of storytelling that I like. And guess what? I don't need to interrogate that question right now. This is my fucking podcast and I can air my opinions however I want. If you needed to have a callback, I would have preferred Steve to be the one who died making the snap, because I appreciated the callback, like the resonance between Tony being the one to do that and him being the one to put the nuke through the wormhole in the first Avengers movie, but I felt like that moment had kind of gotten lost in all of the other Tony content that had happened. It wasn't like the defining moment for his character for me, whereas one of the defining moments of Steve's character is choosing to put the plane down. You know, him opting to sacrifice himself. And I feel like I would rather have seen him say, look, I've been living on borrowed time. When I did that, I expected to die. I got this new life. I've been introduced to all these great new experiences. I have a family again when I didn't think I was ever going to have that again. I got to get my best friend back. I got to get closure with the woman I loved. And it's okay if like I can give that up, because, and like it sucks that he has to, but it would have meant more to me for him to say, like, this has been more than I ever thought I was going to get, and I'm going to preserve it to go on without me because I've already established that I consider that calculus to be the correct one.
I'm going to give up my second chance so that everybody else gets to have one too.
Yeah, because that is who Steve Rogers is at the core of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I would argue, I mean, wouldn't argue against that. It's just that I also feel like that worked for Tony as well because
oh yeah,
he
the
also
same thing
was
is like
somebody,
I got my second chance, everybody else should have one.
Exactly. I would have definitely preferred a different ending for Steve, but I don't know that like I'm happy with like the snap going to Tony, and I think out of the two of them I would have preferred I prefer Tony being the one who does that, but
Interesting.
at the same time I just like I don't know but I don't know what you would do to like say no, we definitely can't bring Captain America back now in a way that was as definitive as saying like either he died or we've aged him out of relevancy.
I think this is my substitute idea for what happens to Tony, and it doesn't work because he doesn't need the arc reactor anymore. But what it would have been, for some reason they could not make the Infinity Gauntlet work or could not make the snap work without some kind of power source, and it would be for him to use the arc reactor to fuel it. And so they both die. Tony because he takes the arc reactor out to fuel the snap, and Steve because he's the one to make the snap.
Oh, stop. That's so good, actually.
Ezra,
they like finally work together to like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
Ezra, fuck you. Oh, God.
I'm calling the Russos right now. We have to re-release Endgame.
Well, and that's great because then that moment at the funeral where they put the original arc reactor on the thing that says proof Tony Stark has a heart would actually have
they sail it
meaning.
off on Cap's shield.
You know what? You can all go fuck yourselves.
Yep. Oh man, see, and this is why you should hire Maddie and I to write movies.
Stay tuned for my Endgame fic, BT Dubs.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and I can't wait. I genuinely cannot wait to read that, dude.
I'm so excited. They have to link it to us immediately.
Have such a good handle on the Marvel characters. Like, I cannot wait to read that fic.
Because I care so fucking much.
Yeah, you do, and it's beautiful. Okay, so speaking of people sacrificing themselves, you have no idea how glad I am that Clint Barton didn't get to pull the classic "tell my family I love them, my wife is a #strong woman and will be fine without me" BS, because that always makes me just want to yell, "Fuck you, go home and change a diaper."
Yeah.
I feel like, but I also didn't necessarily want Nat to die.
Oh, I didn't want Nat to die. I'm just saying that if out of the two of them, when I was presented with that choice, when she was like, "Tell them yourself," I was like, "Fucking thank you."
Yeah. I did not want Clint to die. Not because I have any like weird attachment to him because I love the comic version of him so much. No, that's not why. But you know, just generally.
Ezra, the activity is not the word I want for what you were just talking about. The thing that you do where you're like, I wasn't happy with the storytelling decision, how would I rewrite it? I'm doing that kind of with that choice, because I'm like, I feel like also Nat, that feels like she's like, I don't have anything else except to sacrifice myself for my people that I have left, because my whole life has been like a series of traumas where I was forced to constantly give up my own self for other people. Mm-hmm. And this is the natural culmination of that, is I give myself up, but it's my choice, which I think, now that I'm saying it out loud, can be satisfying, but it also rubbed me the wrong way, but they were like, well, we have a woman anyway, bye.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like that very much, and I also feel like they didn't very properly say the thing that I just said, where it's like, my whole life has been, I've been forced to give myself, and now I give myself of my own choosing, that can be satisfied. That's it. That is it. Is that they more succinctly say that she finally got to make a choice for herself.
Yeah.
I still don't want Knight to die because they finally gave her like good characterization again.
Yeah, shit.
And that made me so stoked. And then they were like, anyway, she's dead now, and the men are sad about it. And I was like, fuck!
Oh,
God,
so that
no!
scene was, I could not take that scene seriously. And I'm sorry if anybody cried during that scene where they were, like, grieving over Nat, and Hulk, like, throws a bench into the lake or something.
I did. I cried, and then I laughed.
Okay, good.
Because I was like, a bitch? What the fuck? Relax, that wasn't your bench. Oh my God.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? So, you want to know how comprehensively I had forgotten about the last 2 or 3 Avengers movies?
You forgot that Bruce Nat was a thing.
Well, one, yes, I forgot that Bruce Nat was a thing. No, it's even worse than that. So, when Clint and Wanda are, like, looking out over the lake, and it's like, oh, like, he, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, like, I think that, like, the people who were missing, like, know that we're okay or whatever. I went, oh, it's so sweet that they're both thinking about these people who were their siblings. Vision. She's
Vision.
talking about Vision, her boyfriend, who I literally forgot existed.
Forgot about. I forgot that he didn't die in the snap.
He did.
I was
he
like,
died
where
for
is
real.
he? No, they killed him for real. Oops.
I got really because I haven't seen Age of Ultron. So I missed the bulk of building up Wanda and Vision's relationship. So the only context I had for that was Civil War and Infinity War, and I cared about Vision literally for like the 2 minutes where he looked like a real Paul Bettany, and I was like, oh, this is good because I get to look at Paul Bettany in a long coat. And then they're like, oh, no jokes, he's back to being Vision now. And I was like, oh.
You're like, never mind.
Okay.
I would like to unlike this.
I'm a shallow bitch. What can I say? That's when I cared because I still haven't seen Age of Ultron. Someday I will.
Paul,
no, I won't.
don't bother. Don't bother. Paul Bettany.
I still want to... I have a joke I want to make, so go ahead.
Okay, okay, fine. I was going to say, like, I had replaced Paul Bettany as Vision with Paul Bettany, Art Deco knife lesbian in Solo. To the extent that I forgot that I didn't forget that he, like, died. I forgot that he existed at all.
At all.
I was like, who? I was like, oh, she's talking about her brother. Nope. Whoops.
I mean, maybe she was. It was, like, fucking ambiguous, honestly.
But it was just like...
It was, I think Vision was what they were trying to imply. Anyway, my joke was, and I was thinking about this during Iron Man 2, is that Vision is technically, oh my god, what's the name of the robot butler?
Jarvis?
Jarvis, yeah. So Vision is technically Jarvis. Do you think that, like...
What?
I'm gonna cut this joke out of the podcast, probably, actually.
No. You have to say it now and have everybody listen to it. What awful thing are you about to say?
Do you think that when, like, Vision became, like, a person, Tony for a second was, like, real stoked about it, and then he started trying to date, like, a 19-year-old, and Tony was like, what the fuck, dude? Like...
Oh, God. It's true, because we talked about that when I watched Infinity War for the first time, and it was, like, live blocking it to you. I was like... oh, Paul Bettany, I love this. And Ezra was like, immediately, he looks so uncomfortable because his, like, what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen is, like, so much younger than him in this movie.
Yeah.
They have to be a romantic couple. It's like,
shout out to Paul Bettany in Infinity War because the whole time that they're on, like, their date or whatever, Paul Bettany is, like... I got absolutely zero hints of romantic or sexual attraction at all. that whole scene had the vibe of like, oh yeah, I went to college like all the way across the country, and like my mom's old friend lives in town and like it takes me out to dinner periodically to like check on me and tell my parents how I'm doing, and would never ever 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 hit on me in a million years because he knew me when I was 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's the vibe that scene had for me. I was like, Paul Bettany, thank you for just like looking at Elizabeth Olsen and being like, I'm
your mentor now.
No, that's weird.
I'm a married man and I have children, and this is weird. No,
yeah. He's like,
I mean, I understand. It's the everlasting struggle where it's like I have a big problem with this like men in romantic relationships in movies with like actresses who are always 20 years younger than them, but at the same time, if somebody
asked me to fake date Paul Bettany for a movie,
I am there with bells on, and I'm sorry that I'm like that, but I am.
Look,
so I understand.
Look,
I understand.
You can intellectually understand that it's a harmful trope while also wanting to bang Paul Bettany like a screen door in a hurricane.
That's okay, true. And you are valid.
Thank you. I blame A Knight's Tale.
I mean, yeah.
Can we rewatch A Knight's Tale? I know we talked forever ago about doing an episode about Knight's Tale.
Oh, we're gonna do an episode.
For real?
Episode teaser.
Oh,
we're gonna do an episode about A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, fuck the next episode. We were gonna do the MCU, but like, fuck that. Now I want to watch A Knight's Tale.
We're still gonna do another episode about the MCU first.
Fine. Okay. Oh, you mean our episode about Cap 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. Oh boy. I'm trying to think about whether there was anything else that I like super definitively wanted to mention.
Oh, I'm like not excited about Thor's future. Yeah, like I think if they're having him in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy. And my note in the document, if I may just read it, is if he's in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm going to go apeshit because he steals the whole show in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that sucks. I hate the tension he creates. It's supposed to be funny. It isn't. Everything that happened in their scenes feels weirdly untrue to everyone's character because it's joke. Guardians of the Galaxy is joke. I'm on fire.
Yeah.
And that's my whole statement about it.
I'm speaking as somebody who's just like literally rewatched both Guardians of the Galaxy movies in the past 2 days because fuck you, that's why. I'm feeling really like torn about the future of those movies because with the implications of there being a past Gamora now, but does that mean that she's gonna come back? I don't know. And also like any development between their relationship is like gone. And like which is I mean that's bad. It's like extra bad because they weren't there yet. But I mean, Peter and Gamora weren't there yet, and that's a good thing that by the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they still haven't had their big damn kiss. And that's a good thing.
I think they kissed in Infinity War, didn't they?
Did they? See, I don't remember anything about that movie.
The thing about Infinity War is like they have this very heartfelt moment actually where Gamora is like, if Thanos tries to take me, I think I know what he's going to do. You have to kill me. Because he's going to kill me, and I don't want him to take that autonomy from me. And Peter, like, goes to do it. Like, she's like, Peter, you have to do it. And he, I think they do kiss. But maybe I'm making it up. And he, like, does it because that's what she wants. He can't because, like, Thanos turns his fucking gun into bubbles or whatever. But it's, like, it's a very, like, it's a good moment. And now I'm just kind of, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're just like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy is the joke series. And also, like, Gamora is from the past now.
But they're not ready. I mean, my problems with it are bigger than just their relationship. But like, they're not. It's good that they were taking their time with it because Peter is still an immature piece of shit, and he needs to grow more as a person before he can like be deserving of a relationship with her. And it's good that they didn't let that happen in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And like Guardians of the Galaxy is a fun series, and it is comparatively the joke series, but it's also like one of the only like series within the MCU that actually gave consistently real time to its characters' emotional like motivations and backstory and developed a rapport between them. And I'm just really mad that like we're going to potentially lose that. Like, I love Thor as a character, and
I don't
you know,
love what they've done with Thor now.
yeah.
And I don't think he fits with the Guardians.
No, it's because it was really fun in Thor Ragnarok, and then they just walked back everything that Taika Waititi did that was really interesting and fun.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Anyway,
Someone also pointed out to me that Gamora possibly got killed in the snap that took out all of Thanos' people, and it's like, oh, that's right, they like can't find her when they're looking for her later. So like maybe Gamora's dead again, actually. So like who fucking knows? Anyway, so
Oh, congratulations to Carol Danvers on her coming out, because that was lesbian hair. Yeah, and her recent wedding, it's so nice that she and Maria are married.
good for her.
and that's it. That's the last takeaway from Endgame.
Yep, Mazel Tov.
So that kind of takes us out for Endgame. We are going to do our next episode also on the MCU, but it's kind of going to be a overarching, like, here's some thoughts on the MCU. It's just going to be about Cap 2, probably. But, so it's going to be a two-parter, so now you've got all your Endgame stuff, and then we gonna go back and do a, like, fond memories with the MCU while Graduation by Vitamin C plays.
Oh my god. We also, we're definitely gonna talk about kind of the ups and downs of the MCU fandom, because all of us kind of I feel like most of us kind of got in on the ground floor of that one and then have drifted in and out over the years.
Yeah.
And it's been a really interesting... We don't want to get too into the kind of messy fandom politics of that, because there's literal metric fuck tons of it, and not fun. Yeah, and also I think we've all kind of avoided a lot of it like the plague.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look forward to discussions of minimal but present discussions of MCU shipping politics. It's happening. I'm sorry.
I won't apologize. You know what you signed up for when you started listening to this show. I literally said I'm writing MCU fanfiction on our podcast, so, like...
True.
It doesn't matter anymore. There's no loss here. Welcome to Sneople at the Movies. Subtitle, there's no loss here. And with that bold statement, thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and then come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneepleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we need to see, or you want to send us your fan cast for the Hawkeye TV show that we deserve, drop us a line, come say hello. Also, if you can, please review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show with anyone who you think would really like it. Anyway, you can help us spread the news. Helps us so much, and we really appreciate it. Even though we're a few episodes in, we're still kind of gaining traction. So we really appreciate the support. And as always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.